have a great credit score. Good evening. This is you and your credit on the New Orleans Talk Network. I'm your host, Remus Bowman, and my prayers go out to my good friends over in Houston, Texas, and as a result of all the flooding that's going on over there, it's very troubling. But when you look at it, I often talk about bad things happening to good people. Just a few weeks ago in the city of New Orleans, we had a scenario where several of the pumps went out, and there was a tremendous amount of flooding throughout the city. As a matter of fact, there was flooding in my neighborhood. One of our automobiles was considered a total loss as a result of getting water in it. These are difficult times where all kinds of things are going on. Things are happening daily in our lives. But if we prepare ourselves, then we can keep it moving. If you do nothing, then nothing's going to change. Sometimes we have a tendency to not heed good advice. We're not listening. So, as a result, when adversity knocks on our door, we're not prepared to make any type of plan or to resolve any of the problems that occur as a result of these things that happen all over the country. The last few years, there's been flooding. There's been flooding in New Orleans. There's been flooding in Missouri. There's been flooding in Houston. There's been flooding in Georgia. It's a part of our ecosystem. The situation is uncontrollable. There's nothing you can do other than to prepare yourself for a time like this. Now, what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to have lost their homes, they lost their automobiles, so now they're in transit. It's a shame that we can't prepare ourselves. You never know what's going to happen from one day to the next. You're not in control. You're just moving down the line of the highway of life. And things get in the way. Things happen. People run into you, destroy your automobile. In the case of Houston, right now you have millions of people who have lost their homes. There's a lot of automobiles that have been lost. People are still wading through water, trying to find their way out of adversity, out of an adverse environment that's been created as a result of this hurricane that came, and it's still there. As a matter of fact, I was watching the news this morning, and it's going to continue to rain in Houston for most of this week. So, so they're going to be going through a very difficult time for quite a while. I can still remember, if it was yesterday, going through Katrina and having people go through the adversity. And matter of fact, me and my family went through the same thing. It's just we were able to deal a little differently than a lot of other people. We were able to transition. We were able to move, get an apartment in another state. We were able to get automobiles. We were able to get jobs. If you don't put yourself in the best position when things like this happen, it can virtually destroy you. It can leave you in a position of depression. Now, the thing is that one of the primary things that we have to do first, we have to make sure that our financial situation is stable. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Suppose, let's take a look at it. Think about it. If your home became flooded and you were renting, and your car is underwater and you're still paying a note on it, now chances are you probably have the coverages you need. Hopefully, you'll have the insurance and the gap to get you out of that situation. But suppose you don't have any money to put down on a new vehicle. So, and suppose you don't have good credit. If you have a good credit score, we see many people who go through adversity, and they just, hey, time to move on to the next situation. If by not taking this idea of credit seriously, you're playing Russian roulette with a loaded pistol. Adversity is right there. It's always right there. You can not intend to fall, but walk straight into a ditch. That ditch is life. It's a part of the deal. Adversity is right there. It's right there, and it's all about you're being prepared to handle it and being smart enough to handle it. In my own situation, as I said earlier, one of our vehicles was went underwater, it got flooded. And I thought because the vehicle had very low miles, that it was still in very good condition, that it would be in our best interest to settle with the insurance company and get it repaired and keep it moving. However, the car was not registered to me, so it wasn't my car, so it's not my decision. So on the other hand, the person that the car is registered to have opted to receive the full payment from the insurance company and purchase a new vehicle. Now, the good thing about this is that I know for a fact that she's going to be able to walk in to my office tomorrow or Wednesday, whenever this situation is finalized, and get a new car, because I know that she has good credit. But this could be you. This could be you. You do nothing, nothing's going to change. On the other hand, I had one of my clients, my credit customers, who called me. She's only been in the program for about five or 6 weeks, and she's called me. She says, "Mr. Remus, my car has given me a lot of problems. What do I do?" I said, "Come on, let's get you out of that car. Let's get you traded in. Let's get you a new car. Bring me your proof of income and let's go." Now, this person has been in my credit restoration program for about 6 weeks. The credit bureaus have already investigated, more than likely, completed an investigation of her claims, and a number of adverse situations that were on her credit report have already been deleted. But she did something. Doing nothing is just waiting for something bad to happen. As I said a moment ago, my prayers go out to the people in Houston, Texas, and that surrounding area that I know they're going to be going through a very difficult time. And if you can afford to, maybe you might want to pick up the phone and send a little gift to one of these agencies that are going to be nonprofits that are going to be working in that area to help these people. It's what we need to do. We need to surround the wagons to pull each other up. I'm often reminded of the adversity that we went through as a result of Katrina, and there have been other situations in Louisiana where other areas have flooded. But I can assure you of one thing: there's nothing better than being able to move on from adversity. Sometimes it wears you down, man. It just takes you out of the deal. But if you just clean up that credit, get that negative stuff off your credit report, I promise you, you'll feel much better when it's time, when your turn comes, that you have to react to an adverse situation. About 2 weeks ago, my good friend was on the phone, on the show. He called in, and we had a conversation about some new rules that are being enacted by the credit reporting agencies concerning medical bills. And this is a very important transition that they've come to that they've decided to change in the reporting of medical bills on your credit report. So this is we're gonna talk about this in just a few minutes as soon as we come back from our first break. It should be just about time for us to take that break now, but this is an important issue that you need to know, and because over the years, I've met literally hundreds of people, and they had pages and pages and pages of medical bills on their credit reports, and as a result of all these medical bills, their credit scores were weighted down, and it gave you a low credit score because you had so much collection activity. They've made it a lot easier to negotiate with those lenders, with those hospitals, and those facilities, and now they've changed the law where the credit reporting agencies will not show medical bills on your credit report for 6 months. So what happened, what was happening originally is when you had, when you went to the hospital and you got, you got treated, the hospitals would immediately, soon after your treatment, would approach your insurance carrier or whoever the responsible party was for those medical bills to try to arrange payment. Now, the insurance companies, the hospitals now have agreed to give a waiting period of 6 months. That's 120 days before those medical bills will show up on your credit report. This gives them time to work with the insurance carrier or the responsible party to try to resolve those issues. We're going to delve deeper into this issue in just a couple of minutes, but it's time now for our first break. This is You and Your Credit on the New Orleans Talk Network.
I said you can have whatever you like. Yeah, baby, you can have whatever you like. I said you can have whatever you like. Yeah, baby, you can have whatever you like. I said you can have whatever you like.
This is Remus Bowman. I want to invite you every Monday at 12 o'clock live for You and Your Credit. Call in, you can ask me questions. Believe me, I've got most of the answers for you. We're going to help you get a good credit score. We're going to open doors for you to have an opportunity to be successful and pay low interest for your automobile, your home, your credit cards, everything that you buy. We're going to put you on a great path to have a successful future. Send me your request for information. I'll be glad to answer your question. Every Monday at 12 o'clock, join me from 12 to 1 Monday afternoon for You and Your Credit, originating from New Orleans Talk Network.
Are you looking for a home to live stream your next event? Give us a call here at Bethesda Community Event Center, the only place on a Gulf Coast that can host and broadcast live your wedding reception, your baby shower, business seminar, and any other special event. Give us a call at 504-708-9454 for more details.
What is New Orleans Talk Network? It's today's hottest topics with an added flair. You get ready, because the conversation will be hot, and better yet, mobile. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app, available on Android, iPhone, iPad, and you can listen to us on the web at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com. Write down our talk line at 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255. Interactive and worldwide. That's what we are. Join in on the real conversation and tell a friend about the New Orleans Talk Network.
You can have whatever you like. I said you can have whatever you like.
Whatever you like with a great credit score. As I said earlier, the subject today is medical bills and how they affect your credit scoring. A lot of times what would traditionally happen was the hospitals or medical facility or doctor's office would send a bill to you, and within a certain period of time, if you didn't honor that bill, then they would forward it to a collection agency. Actually, the collection agency would make an agreement to collect the debt at a percentage of ownership of the debt. Now, you have to, two things you have to do first. One of the things is that the Fair Credit Reporting Act requires that debt collectors notify you within 5 days of them taking possession of the debt in writing. So if they notify you in writing that they intend to collect the debt on behalf of the company that you owe the debt to, then they may or may not have a legitimate claim. The thing is that what you might want to do is when you receive that notice of the debt from the collection agency, you might want to contact the company that you owe the debt to, and when you contact the company that you owe the debt to, you want to ask them to give you an opportunity to settle the debt with them, and they may do it and knock the collection agency out of their profits, or they will give you the information you need to legitimize their attempts to collect the debt on behalf of that facility. That's the thing. When you settle debt with collection agencies, it's very difficult to completely understand. It's completely difficult, somewhat difficult. Can you ask them to tone it down? I'd appreciate it. Yeah, I got it. Hey, we got a call on line 1. Georgie Porgy, what's up? Hello? But we got to pay attention to how we settle these debts, and we got to have communication from these collection agencies in written form to verify that they actually have the right to settle a debt on behalf of this third party. We have a call on line 1. George, are you there?
I'm here, man.
Hey, man, how are things in Houston town?
Hey, man, it's a little wet. It's a little wet in this town. Pray for a lot of people. Unfortunately, so far so good for me, but I can't say the same for a lot of other people,
And I was just talking about being prepared for adversity. Imagine if you go through a scenario like this and you don't have good credit and you've lost your home, you've lost your automobile. Man, that puts you in a bad spot, doesn't it?
Well, hey, man, even if you did, it's never too late to get started. So, and if the storm or the rain haven't affect you, and you don't, you can prepare. You can be a Boy Scout. You can take right now and start getting yourself prepared for whatever, because you never know, right?
You never know. It's unfortunate that a lot of people, and I work with people every day, and they will say, well, I really wanted to get into the credit restoration program, but I have this other thing that I need to do first. And, and I think to myself, man, this is the most important, and you never really know. For example, I had a lady who works at this hospital. She makes fairly good money. And she tells me, she says, Mr. Remus, I really want to get in the credit restoration program, but I got to get my car, I got to get my car fixed first. The point is that originally when she contacted me, she wanted to trade the car in. So now, instead of trading the car in, she's going to, go ahead and spend the money to repair the car, which makes sense if the car is worth it. But in some cases, you may be spending bad money, throwing good money after bad money, because you'll never get that money back as a result of the value of the vehicle is not going to, by making the car more operable, it's going to help you. But as far as the trade-in value, if it's worth, a certain amount of money or beneath a certain amount of value, that's not going to change when you make those changes to the vehicle, because it was a hoop-de in the beginning. So you're better off to try to minimize the amount that you spend on the repairs and keep the car operable, for trade value, but, try to correct your credit so that you could trade out of it and, get a car that's worthy of the money that you're going to be spending on it. We got, we got to work real hard these days to pay attention to what's going on, man. There's so much adversity.
Well, the best thing to do, is give it a fair assessment. If I have the car right now, it costs X amount of dollars to fix. If I decided to trade the car in right now, what is its value? If I fix it, what is its value?
Right.
If my credit was good, could I trade it in at that same value and get a lesser car with a better rate and have the equal payment?
Yeah.
If you take one more step to get that evaluation, that might make you make a better decision.
You're absolutely right. Because sometimes, and again, like I said, in the situation that these people were in, they're having a more difficult time, like what's going on in Houston. They don't, of course, we've been through this. You weren't living in New Orleans during Katrina, but I know that you had
a home.
That you
I
had
had
a
a home out in
home
New Orleans East.
that you had to renovate. But
Yeah.
a lot of times when you don't prepare yourself from this standpoint, it makes it very difficult to keep it moving, to move on to the next stage of life, because you've compounded, you failed to react.
Well, for a perfect hypothetical example, the tragedy that happened to New Orleans prepared Houston.
It did.
Because we had some clue on what to do and what not to do.
Right.
So this is the same thing. Since the tragedy happened here, it happened there, it prepares you to know what to do, know what not to do.
Right.
Good credit is like a tool in your repertoire. It's part of, it's like if you're a magician, it's a part of your tricks. If you're a carpenter, it's your hammer.
Right.
If you're a salesman, it's your sales field.
Right.
So if you lack in that, that's okay. Like hills and valleys, we trying to say get out the valley and journey on the hill. And give your number, Remus.
Well, my phone number is area code 504-274-8117. And if you want to contact me through youandyourcredit.com or youandyourcredit.us, you can go on the website and you can email me directly to You and Your Credit, and there's a box on the website where you can fill out your information and send it directly to me. And I'll return, I'll contact you very quickly thereafter. But the point is that adversity is always going to be lurking. It's a part of the deal. And you and I both know that like Friday, I got some real bad information concerning myself. So I've got right now to decide how I'm going to approach managing this whole situation. We just, these things, it's a part of the deal. Every day is not going to be Sunday. Every day is not going to be sunny. Adversity is going to come. It's a part of what life is going to be, always will be. Good days, bad days, sickness and health. When you get married, that's what they say, in sickness and in health. And that's what you're doing. You're marrying life, there are going to be days when adversity is going to come at your door, and it's up to you to be prepared for that time. And one of the best ways, the absolute best ways to be prepared for adversity is to have your credit in store, because, as I said earlier, I was talking about some of the people that had their cars flooded in New Orleans. And most of those people, this was recently, about 3 weeks ago, most of the people I had worked with, they were to walk in the Toyota, get another car, show proof that the insurance company was going to pay off the previous car, get another car, and keep it moving. It was, I was very proud of what they were able to do, because I was glad that I had a positive effect on their transition at a time when they really needed to have it. What were you gonna say?
I said, hey man, keep up doing the good work, but they have to take advantage of it. You got to get the people to call you. They got to come see you. You got to use the service. Take a chance.
Got to take the chance. If you do nothing, then nothing's going to change, right?
I agree.
That's a fact. So if you already know that you have, this is interesting, and this is a true story. Everything I say, I try to make sure to not put people's information out there. Don't talk about them personally. But I had a young lady, and this is kind of weird because she was just in my office last week. And when she came into my office last week, she brought her copies of her new credit reports that had been sent to her from all three credit reporting agencies. When she originally got into now she's only been in the program for a couple of months, but when she originally got into the credit restoration program, she had 27 collection accounts on her credit report. 27. It was unreal. And the vehicle that she has, that she owns, is worth less than what she owes. So and she wants to trade out of it because it's got she's had it for a good little while, and she's starting to have problems with it. So at the time she didn't have a down payment available to purchase a new vehicle, so she went ahead and decided to go ahead and correct her credit, so that it would make it a lot easier for the transition out of that vehicle. So she brought me those copies, and she went from 27 derogatory accounts on her credit report to, I don't know, George, within 60 days, what do you think, about 10? About 10 of those collection agencies, the collection reports have been moved off her account in 2 months.
How many points did that driver score up? That's the question.
Do what?
How many points did that driver score up?
Actually, I chose not to run a credit report because she wanted. I didn't want to. I didn't want to drive. I didn't want to run it because she decided that she wanted to stay in the program a little while longer, about another 4 or 5 weeks, and do another series of mailers to get it up a little bit more. So we didn't run it, but I would probably say she went from maybe a 400 to a 515, 525. At
All the way up.
least 100 points in four
All the
to
way
6
up.
weeks. Sir?
He was on his way up.
On his way up, yes. On his way up. Definitely on his way up. And that was encouraging for her. The fact that she had only been in the program for less than 2 months, had already gotten her letters back from the credit bureaus, saw all this information that had been deleted from her credit report, and she was in a good spot, man. So she was very happy when she left my office because, I don't charge any money for people to come in and consult with me. I do it as a public service. That's one of the things that I do, and I'm very proud that I've been able to do that to help a lot of people. I've got hundreds of people that we've been able to help improve their credit score. And all they did was just stop by and say, hey, Mr. Remus, I need your help. Now, if
That's
I
awesome.
give, sir?
That's awesome.
It's awesome. No charge.
Uh-huh.
At no charge. And as I was saying earlier, you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. And the insurance companies are playing hardball right now, and they're forcing people to, if it's an advantage for the insurance company to try to make you do a total loss in your vehicle, that's what they're going to do. If it's an advantage for them to give you a few $100s to change the carpet out in your car and not do the complete work that's needed to repair your car, and you go for that, guess what? They're going to do that too. So a lot of times I've been noticing a lot of people have been making the decisions that they've been making have not been in their best interest. But I would say, sometimes we gotta, before you make a decision and you're going through this, you need to consult someone that can give you the information you need to make a good decision. Because
So what do you suggest they do?
well, for starters, you have to weigh whether or not it's in your best interest to let your car go as a total loss. And if you let it go as a total loss, the insurance company's only obligation is to give you the money for the value of the vehicle. Now, in some cases, what happens is the vehicle you may owe more on the vehicle than the insurance company is willing to pay.
What if you got gap insurance?
If you have gap insurance, gap insurance takes a little longer to settle than a regular insurance claim, because
Yeah,
the
but
gap
but
insurance.
I'm gonna need gap insurance to cover the difference if you say my car's not worth what the bank said it's worth.
Well, yes, I'm not saying that you can't completely resolve your debt, but if you don't have good credit and you're giving up your vehicle and you don't have any money to put down, where are you? Where does that leave you? It leaves you without a car.
Okay.
You
So
see?
what do you suggest? Once again,
Mhm.
I ask you, what do you suggest?
I suggest get work on your credit in the first place, so when situations like this happen, you'll be able to transition from that vehicle into another vehicle without suffering adversely from the loss.
And how can I work on my credit?
Well, just give me a call. Call me or come by Toyota of New Orleans, come see me. And we'll everybody's different. Every credit there's been once. I will admit that there was a husband and wife that had pretty much the same thing and the same credit score. there was only once in all the years that I've been doing this that I've seen that. But most people have information on their credit scores totally different because we all live different lives. We purchase different things.
Okay,
We
okay.
Yeah, so no two people are going to have the same scenario.
So since no two people are having the same scenario, what should I do?
Get the information. Come in and see me. Let's see how how you stack up. Let's see what's on your report. Let's see if you're going to be able to buy a new car, to transition. Are you going to be able to get good interest rates? You know, interest rates save you a lot of money. I got a guy right now. He's got a Toyota Tacoma with about 80-something thousand miles on it to 2013. So he wants, of course, he thinks his car is worth a stack of money. But then he didn't look at the damage to the vehicle. And I said, well, you got a big dent on this door. The windshield's cracked, and the interiors got stains in it, in the seats that may or may not be able to come out. So the reconditioning of that vehicle has to be in consideration when you do your trade. And a lot of times when people come in to get appraisals on their trades, they don't think that the dealership should take off for this, but this stuff has to be paid for, because they're going to recondition the car. Are you still there? Hey, I'm sorry, it's time for our second break. This is You and Your Credit on the New Orleans Talk Network. I'm your host, Remus Bowman. Hello?
I said you can have whatever you like. Yeah, baby, you can have whatever you like. I said you can have whatever you like. Yeah, baby, you can have whatever you like. I said you can.
What is New Orleans Talk Network? It's today's hottest topics with an added flair. You get ready because the conversation will be hot and better yet, mobile. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app available on Android, iPhone, iPad, and you can listen to us on the web at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com. Write down our talk line at 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255. Interactive and worldwide. That's what we are. Join in on the real conversation and tell a friend about the New Orleans Talk Network.
What's up, readers and shakers? It's your girl, Rhonda M. Lawson, sending you a personal invite to the Literary Lounge. Tune in to Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions each Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for the best in literary conversation. Each week, a different author will join us to talk to their most important readers, you. You can also call in to ask your own questions. So don't forget, each Wednesday at 7 p.m., join us in the lounge for Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions. See you there.
Hi, I'm Linda Lewis with Lewis Armstrong Family Services here live at New Orleans Talk Network. We're here every Thursday at 11 a.m. Come join us. Thank you.
Are you looking for a home to live stream your next event? Give us a call here at Bethesda Community Event Center, the only place on a golf course that can host and broadcast live your wedding reception, your baby shower, business seminar, and any other special event. Give us a call at 504-708-9454 for more details.
You can have whatever you like with a great credit score. This is You and Your Credit with Remus Bowman on the New Orleans Talk Network. I was just talking about debt settlement on automobiles. It's a very important subject because right now a lot of people are going through adversity as a result of the flooding that's going on in the South. The flooding in Texas, flooding in Louisiana, so a lot of people are having their cars go underwater. Let me just explain to you the process on what happens when your car is flooded. So what happens is you call your insurance company. Insurance company send out a claims adjuster. They within a number of days they decide whether or not they're going to repair the vehicle or deem that vehicle to be a total loss. In order for that vehicle to be a total loss, most insurance companies base that information on a percentage of value. In other words, if they feel like the loss to your vehicles up to 70 to 75% of the total value of the vehicle, they will they will decide that that vehicle is a total loss and pay you for the vehicle. More often than not, if you have an outstanding debt on the vehicle, depending on your interest rate and down payment, you may owe more for the vehicle than the vehicle's the payment that you're going to receive from the insurance company. It's always a good idea to have gap insurance because gap insurance pays the difference. However, what happens is once the insurance company pays off the debt, they will give you generally about 7 days after they make a determination on whether or not on how they were going to approach the debt on your vehicle, as to whether or not they're going to consider that vehicle a total loss. Now, after that 7-day period, they should be issuing a check to your lien holder or to you, depending on who owns the vehicle. If there's an outstanding debt that's owed on the vehicle, and you've received the money from the insurance company, now once you receive a determination from your insurance company, it's up to you to contact your gap insurance carrier. More often than not, the company the bank that you owe the money to will provide the settlement information that you need to send to the gap insurance carrier so that they can provide the settle the debt. Now, what most people are not aware of is that if you had late payments or outstanding debt that was not a part of the original contract. In other words, let's say, for example, if you pay your automobile, your note within some banks it's 5 days, some banks it's 10 before they consider charging you a late payment. If you have late payments, now late payments does not mean that you were 30 days late. Sometimes late payments can be 5 days or 10 days late. If you have late payments that are assessed to your payoff, your gap insurance carrier would not pay those late payments. Those are still going to be your obligation. Any obligation outside of the normal contract, the money that's paid by the insurance company, and the remaining balance that's owed to the bank who mortgaged your car, who originally loaned you the money for your vehicle, whatever's outstanding, that money is your obligation to pay. Generally, if you have a good credit score, you can pretty much get this information, bring it to your car dealership. The person that's providing that's helping you get a new car, he'll take and make copies of the information so that they can apply to a new lender while you're still working out your other debt, settling your other debt on this original automobile, and assist you by helping you get a new car if you can provide information saying that your obligation to that bank is going to be satisfied as a result of having coverage and so on. Now, depending on your credit score, sometimes if you have a credit score 650 to 700 or 800, the bank's not going to worry about it. They may ask about a debt settlement on the other vehicle. If you have certain credit scores, they will allow you to have more than one car on your credit report, more than one automobile that'll be debt, debt that'll be owed by you. But in most cases, in a large percentage of cases that I've seen, most banks will not allow most people to have more than one car. Now, in some cases they do, most cases they don't. Where do you fit in? If you fit in to a situation where you cannot purchase a second car, your credit score doesn't allow you to purchase a second car, then you need to come in, visit with me, and let me show you how to improve your credit score. It's easy, it's very cost effective, and generally within 3 to 4 months, we could have you on the road to a new financial life. Now, here's the point. The real point is that a lot of people are being forced into this situation right now. So as a result, there's going to be a whole lot of difficulty in most people being able to transition from one vehicle to the next. Where do you fit? Are you going to be one of the people that's going to be able to transition from one vehicle to the next? Or are you going to be in a situation where your your credit score is going to work against you and keep you from being able to transition to a new vehicle? It happens. It's a question we need to ask ourselves. This is a question we need to put at the beginning of our thought process when it comes to this information. It's up to you. Are you in a position today, if you suffered a loss, will you be able to purchase a new vehicle? If you suffered a loss with your home and your home became flooded, will you qualify to move into another apartment or another home similar to or better than the neighborhood that you're living in now? It's very simple stuff. Now, we had gotten off on, and we was talking about debt settlement. We were also talking about having collectors call you about debt. Now, what happens is, and we were talking about medical debt, because what happened is back on July 1st, all three of the credit bureaus got together and decided, hey, we're going to change this rule, and we're going to give individuals up to 6 months before that debt actually shows up as a collection item on the credit report. So this is also going to make it more difficult to remove these debts, because they would have interacted with you, or should have interacted with you on many occasions during that 6-month period, and in an attempt to try to solve the debt that you have with that obligation, and with the bank or with the creditor or with the hospital. And mostly we were talking about our thought was about medical debt. It's been a very difficult day today. There's been quite a number of things that's going on that make life a little more difficult. But, we just keep it moving. It's going to be hard, but it's also going to be very fair. That's how life is. That's how life goes. Adversity is at everyone's doorstep. There are going to be good days in all of our lives, and then we wrap it up. We call it this roll of life, man. But you might want to, if you've heard some information about the new rules regarding medical bills and how they're being reported on your credit bureaus. You can also Google this information for yourself and read it, so that you can get a better understanding on how it's going to affect you, and how you can manage those debts so they don't show up on your credit report in an adverse way. We all have things that happen, and it's not going to be a great day every day. Adversity happens to all of us. It's a part of the deal. Can you overcome the situation that's in front of you? If you were in a situation and that's going on in Houston, how would you be able to resolve that situation? How would it affect you? How would it affect you? Will you be able to go in and transition out of one vehicle and get into another one? Will you be able to transition from one home to the next? Because most people are going to have homeowners insurance, but what's going to happen is you're still going to have to provide, a place. You're going to take some loss, all of your clothing and food and things like this. All these personal items are going to be missing. So, this is just food for thought. This can happen to any one of us. These are very difficult times. There's a hard road ahead. Can you make the transition? Today's story, today's show was, I think it's more relevant than most of the shows that we've done, primarily because if you don't have a good credit score, I would probably say you need to find out what you can do to improve your credit now, because this can happen to you. It almost happened a few weeks ago in New Orleans. It can happen anywhere in the United States. Go to youandyourcredit.us. Give us an opportunity to help you change the scenario, and I think we got you. We've been able to help a number of people, and you could be the next. And, we're always looking to help everyone. This is You and Your Credit on the New Orleans Talk Network. Have a great week, and put God first, man, always.
I said you can